Hey y'all, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm. Hear those birds? Wonderful, beautiful spot. Now we're filming at a part of the property that you've never seen before. And frankly, I haven't spent a whole lot of time in here because this, from a permaculture standpoint, is as zone 5 as you're ever gonna get. Now zone 5 being that it's nature. You're not really disturbing it a whole lot. But to some extent we are, because what you see right here, this, like I said, our property goes to the top of this mountain. And you see those T-posts in the background. Well, they were all mangled, beat up. They have barbed wire on them. We got a stack of barbed wire down there from all the time we had to sit up here, come in increments on foot to make it happen, to get all that stuff done. This fence line is basically situated on a ridge, which is good for us because it's still difficult access, and especially difficult when you're on foot. So in those times where we need help, instead of buying something, I can't get my truck up here, even the 4-wheel drive, I can't get it up here. So for those times, folks, this is what we do. We rent when we have to rent. If I need a tractor, I'll rent it. If I need one of these little handy dandy ATVs, whatever you call them, I'll rent it too. Because you know what? The last thing I want to do is sit here and carry up 200 pounds of concrete for some of these wooden posts that we're sticking in here. Plus, we got fence rolls that are 300 pounds apiece, both of which we stuck on the back of here and went up impossible angles. Now, I could have done this. It even crossed my mind to go ahead, just so people can see that it can be done, is using my skill as a sapper and a rigger to be able to put a pulley system together and get it up here Old Testament style, or do it like the Egyptians supposedly did. That was a complete option, and I could have done it. But there's also that time quotient. And how much time would it have taken to do that? Now, kind of taking some sort of collection of the time it would take just to do all the rigging and get everything up here, I would have invested at least 2 days in the time of year in the spring when it would have been more difficult to do so. Whereas in just 20 minutes, I'm able to get everything I need up here without setting up a whole series of pulleys and all that sort of thing. So folks, I'm not at all opposed to buying devices like this, because honestly, when it's all said and done, maybe we'll do another gratuitous video of me crying like a method actor in the thumbnail where the day we take this thing back, because to a certain extent, it has spoiled me. Because up until now, the only vehicle we had was a BMW. And those were boots made for walking all up and down here. But folks, in those times where I'm not going to make a payment on anything. If I can't buy it outright, I won't have it. And this, frankly, is just not in the cards for us right now. But if you find yourself in a situation like that, rent it. Because we can get this thing for a week, get done not only the fencing we have here, but there's a ton of other things in terms of all those logs, all those trees that are down. I can chop them up, get these to a central place. And honestly, before we even bought this thing, we staged a lot of the thing, or not bought it, but rented it. Before we did all that, we staged a lot of everything that needed to be in the places it would, so we could economize our time with this, because we only have it for a week. So we can get a lot of heavy lifting done while we do have it. So, and then plus, folks, there's also the other benefit of, forgive my use of the word, but taxes. You know what? I rented this thing so I can write it off on my taxes. So there's another thing to consider as well. So when I need to, I will rent these things. And if I had the money and if I had the capabilities, I would buy one, especially now that I know how useful these things can be. So whether it's your T-post, 20 and 30 at a time, whether it's your concrete, whether it's my fencing, whether it's all these other things I need to get up this hill, this thing can get it done, but I don't need to buy it. So these things are fancy and handy dandy, but if there's somebody out there and you want to trade for one, or you just want to give it away, you feel like there's some permaculture pimp daddy out there that you might want to give one of these to, I'm not going to say no. In the words of a not so wise ghetto philosopher, if you break bread, I won't fake dead. So with that said, till next time, this is Billy, the permaculture pimp daddy, where pimp stands for permaculture is my passion. And all of this is a big reason why. We'll see you next time, yo.